Hello, my name is Morgan and I am going to give you my top 10 tips on avoiding blisters for hiking. And why should you watch this video? Well, you should watch it if you're a beginner. There's really nothing new and super exciting about blister prevention. If you're a pro, I don't have any special tricks. But I think that blisters are often a cause for people to avoid hiking in the first place. And what a shame, because it's really quite simple. So, been running all my life, been hiking the last 30 years, and I'm a physical therapist. But honestly, I learned almost the most because I was in the Navy. They don't call it foot soldier for nothing. So, the first point I have is your shoe fit. So, for example, a boot here, the fit is exceedingly important. And my number one tip for this is to go to the store, try the shoe on with the socks you're gonna wear, and actually walk around the store like an idiot. Don't be nervous about it, but you really gotta try it on and play around, move around, make some moves like you would on a hiking trail. Obviously, you wanna leave a little extra room, so at least 1 finger width from your big toe to the end of the shoe. And this space right here where the toe bends, this spot, that is super important to get it wide enough. This is why people are loyal to Salomon, because they actually make a wide toe box, but it's completely up to you, your foot, and you've got to try on the shoes. Okay, so my second tip is breaking in your shoes. Everybody knows this. Don't wear brand new hiking shoes or hiking boots on the trail. If you're gonna start to, if you're a beginner and you're just starting hiking, put the shoes on and just take the dog for a walk. Little by little, break the shoe in, mix it in with your other shoes, and go back and forth. Okay, I forgot to mention boots versus shoes. This is a big debate in the hiking world, and it's really up to you. But when it comes to blisters, the third main point is to keep your feet dry. Dry. This is hugely important for preventing blisters. So, this is a trail shoe. It's basically like a running shoe, a trail running shoe. It's got good traction on the bottom. It's got that nice toe box width right there, and it bends nicely at the toe. So if I was gonna pop quiz this boot, and this is a low top boot also, or this trail shoe with all this aeration in here, which do you think is gonna keep your feet dry the most? That's just a question. I want to pose it to you. I know a lot of the shoes and boots say that they're waterproof, and maybe up to a certain extent they are, but there is no shoe that can be completely waterproof if you're hiking in the Alps or the East Coast where it's wet all the time. And the trail shoe, something like this, is going to dry off a lot faster than a big, thick, heavy boot. Now, you may need to use a boot for a very specific reason, and that's fine. I'm just saying, if you don't have any ankle instability issues, people don't think about trail runner shoes for hiking, when maybe that it could be a good choice. Okay, number four, moisture wicking socks. So, socks are huge. This is an example of a tall one. Kind of a fancy brand I picked up at REI, and then at the discount sports store, like the European version of Walmart. These socks are moisture wicking because they have synthetic materials, or they have something like merino wool. Hopefully hemp comes around. They are shaped to your foot. They have a left and a right. See the little R? And these socks pull the moisture off your feet so that you don't get blisters, which is really nice. Point number 5, lubrication. So something like a body lube, Vaseline, Aquaphor, you can take that and put it in between your toes and around where you tend to get hot spots as a protection in order not to have a blister come up. Runners use this all the time because they're sweating so much. Point number 6, keep your feet clean. So when your boots or your shoes fill up with little pebbles, rocks, and dirt, take them off, shake them out, and put your boots back on. Because those little pieces of particles will start to create a hot spot. All right, point number 7, moleskin is your friend. Keep a little pieces of moleskin to pad and bridge certain areas of your foot. Some people might have a bunion, for example, where the big toe kind of points inward and they have a really kind of funny foot shape. If you have some oddities with your feet, you can use that little piece of moleskin. Go get them, go get them. And you can put it around those sensitive areas so that it provides some protection for your skin not to rub up against your boot. Okay, point number 8, brakes. Brakes for multiple reasons, especially if you're newer to hiking or you're going on a prolonged, like a super long hike for you, or you're doing a multi-day hike or backpacking. If you take frequent breaks before you think you're gonna need them, you're gonna take the pressure off your feet. You're gonna stop those hot spots from developing. And my super secret trick is, we learned this on the Altavia 1 in Dolomites, is that when we sat down every 2 hours, we took off our packs and we actually took our shoes off and we took our socks off, and we basically sat down and let the air go through the toes, just like it is right now. It's quite nice. And it was kind of like a way to help mitigate against our feet getting too wet, which was really great. Okay, the 9th point is hot spots. When you start to feel it, any kind of little rubbing or a little bit of heat on your foot, stop immediately and take care of it right then before it becomes a blister. So what does that mean? Well, make sure you've got a little bit of lubricant to put on it, stop and take a break, get some air on your feet, make sure, maybe change your socks. Maybe the socks that you're using aren't working. You know, and if you continue to get hot spots in the same place, you have to rethink, maybe the shoe that you got is either not broken in well enough, or maybe it's just not the right shoe for you. And our last point is the double sock method. This is really popular in the military. We did it all the time because we had to wear very uncomfortable boots as part of our uniform. So always got blisters with that. Very simply put, you can get like any old cotton sock, like a liner almost, that you're gonna put on first. Then you're gonna take your real hiking sock, which is hopefully, you know, maybe with synthetic materials or wool, meant for hiking, and you're gonna put that over the top of it. So in essence, you'll have these 2 socks rubbing against each other instead of the sock rubbing against your foot. Okay, so that's it. That's my 10 tips on avoiding a blister based on my knowledge from hiking, physical therapy, and being